Hello, hello, my darlings. I hope you all are well. How are you doing, my friends? I am so glad you all could be here. Look, our mascot is back from getting his hair trimmed. He got a quick haircut. His chest is a little bit red because he has been scratching himself. He does get irritated, and well, he has had his appointment with the dermatologist, and all we can do is just put special shampoo on him and hope that the redness and the itchiness calms down. Look at this guy. He was like, Mummy, no more photos, please. Let me show you another one because I was taking a couple of him before we could begin. And he was just not having it at one point. He was like, Get that camera out of my face, you trollop, before I send my agent to you and charge you for these unauthorized photos. Look at this little man. He was like, Get that camera out of my face. I'm done. How dare you send me to get my hair cut? But yeah, Monster definitely hates the Paps. He is not a fan of the Paps, and he definitely doesn't call them. But thank you, my darling, so much for being patient. If I was a few minutes late here, but luckily I got to get him to a last minute appointment. I was actually going to schedule this for next week, but his lovely groomer was like, I actually have a cancellation and can fit you in. So it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. But my darlings, what we are here for is to talk about Harry's visa. Many of us have been saying for the longest time ever that Prince Harry is on a special visa that he has no business being on in the US. Harry is definitely the type of person who is not only on a special visa, but he is also making money while in the US and not paying any taxes. He is also being given special privileges that really he shouldn't have access to, but just because he's a prince, just because he came out of the right womb, was given a royal hand at the life and given basically everything on a silver platter, I think Harry should not know. Peachy Nana, here's the thing. I don't think Harry should be deported yet. I think Harry should be only deported after he's made back all the illegal US aid funds that allegedly Archewell has siphoned through their accounts and through the many Delaware accounts. If I had to say something, I would say that the FBI definitely need to do an audit on Archewell. Now, the reason why we are bringing up um, Harry's visa drama is because recently, yes, he should be charged with the crimes first. He should pay back for what he has received illegally. And then on top of that, kick him out. I wouldn't wish him on the people of the UK. Trust me. Send him on some random island in Chunga Changa. Okay. That's where he should go. But what has come out recently, because we all know that the Trump administration ain't no bitch. So they have been digging into Harry's visa drama, and there have been new documents unearthed. If any of you guys here follow the royal grift, you guys know that the royal grift has been on top of this with her fingers all in the pot, warning us about this, letting us know about this before the mainstream media has told us. Now, besides the royal grift, I have been telling you guys for many years that Harry and Meghan have been receiving taxpayer funded security by the US taxpayers. Now, I first of all thought that yes, the Biden administration is paying for a certain amount of security for them since they had US Home Office officials, or what is it, Homeland Security, uh, protecting them during their first first faux tour of New York. But after that, I feel like Gavin Newsom and his government have been quietly shelling out money for Harry and Meghan. And I have been mentioning this to you guys and basically had it verified back a while ago. Let me refresh your memories here before we get into this article, because people who are American citizens who are paying taxes in the States should be pissed off about this. Now, this was back then on the Royal Mess. This was back February 1st, 2024, where we had a live and NT Lawyer was a guest there. And this was one of the questions that I asked him just to give me a little bit of verification. And I have been saying and shouting since the rooftops. You guys can see I wrote about it too. Since 2020, since Harry and Meghan basically went and joined and to live in America, they have been receiving taxpayer funds to help them with security. Watch this.
Okay.
Auntie, do you think that the US people are paying, the taxpayers are paying for Harry and Meghan's security, or that they have some kind of deal with the Biden government?
Yes, because here's the thing is, and I have known, in my history, I've known some people who are like worked in consulates and stuff like that. And so every once in a while, you get invited to some party, like let's say, I'll give you a small example. Like the Prime Minister of Grenada came into town, right? It's a tiny country. They don't have a plane. He flew coach on a regular commercial airline. But as soon as he got to the United States, he had diplomatic protection officers and Secret Service protecting him, because they don't want anything to happen to this guy while he's in the country. And this tiny little, country with the prime minister that nobody knows about had like 10 protection officers from the United States. Does the United States want Prince Harry to be murdered in the United States? Can you imagine the pushback? So of course he's, being protected by diplomatic protection officers to some extent, and the government is paying for that. Now, how many the government's actually paying for, to supplement their own security, I don't know. But yes, 1,006 million% the U.S. government is paying for some of Meghan and Harry's security.
Thank you. That's all I want to know. Thank you. Well, there we go. Do you remember it? And so many people decided like, oh, MeghansMole, you're stupid for saying something like that. People still say it to this day. But let me read you this article that has come out about Harry's latest visa update and what the Trump administration has unearthed. So basically, earlier this year, if you guys remember, the court ruled that the matters concerning Prince Harry's visa were a private matter. Of course, he's the king's son. He gets special privileges. This is why Harry has turned into the giant ginger, no-nutted POS that he is today. He has always been covered for it. Every time I see Harry with this stupid KVCO medal, I'm just like, why do you have this? You shouldn't be wearing this medal, especially after the way you have desecrated your own country, talked shit about taxpayers, talked shit about the Queen, the King, all of them. Why do you have that medal? It should be stripped from him. 100% it should be stripped. He said he wanted to be on the freedom flight, right? He was leaving the royal family. So piss off, Harry. Go live your life. But let me read this article to you guys, and then I will share my opinions. How about that? So it says, Prince Harry's U.S. visa has been a matter of hot debate ever since he moved there with his American wife, raggedy harlot Meghan Markle, at the end of 2020. Now, you guys should remember it was right as there was warnings coming down that they were closing down the border due to the pandemic. Remember? And they decided to call Tyler Perry, who they didn't know, and beg him and cry on the phone, oh, we need to come over, we're in danger. And he sent his private jet to come and scoop up Meghan, Doria, Cell Block 6, Ragland, and Prince Harry to bring them to America and live in his house and squat there for free for many months until they got their footing and their own home. Many of us remember that, right? So I'm just throwing in the details as we go along. DMF says, why doesn't he just get dual citizenship? Well, Harry can apply for a green card. He's been there for over 5 years. And the reason why he doesn't do it is because you have to renounce all your titles. You cannot be calling yourself a prince and being an American citizen. That's what is going on. So let me continue here. Prince Harry's U.S. visa has been a matter of hot debate ever since he moved there with his American wife, the raggedy trollop Meghan Markle, at the end of 2020. A U.S. think tank went to courts to seek clarification over whether the Duke of Sussex had declared his previous drug use on the form after he admitted to taking illegal drugs in his bombshell memoir, Spare. The Heritage Foundation wanted Harry's immigration records to be made public, as taking drugs can be grounds for the U.S. government to reject a U.S. visa application. Despite arguing the matters was in the public's interest, in March, a U.S. judge ruled that matters concerning his visa were private and not to be disclosed. However, the Trump administration has unearthed new documents suggesting that Harry is in possession of a so-called golden ticket visa in the form of a special A1 head of state document. This is a rare type of diplomatic visa given to members of foreign royal families. The Heritage Foundation's initial request was issued to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, DHS, but new documents relating to Prince Harry have been found in a different department, the Department of State. An immigration expert told the Daily Mail that this could be explained by a special type of visa, the A1 head of state document. Look, how many of us, how many creators, many times I have said myself too, that Harry is on an A1 visa, a head of state visa, something that Charles could get. $250K to Ashley was involved. I wouldn't doubt that at all, my darling, awesome journey 111. I wouldn't doubt that at all, of course. Of course, they got to funnel the money somehow to Biden and giving Harry special access. But look, the fact that this is going on, the fact that, of course, Charles is going to know about this. Of course, he's going to know that Harry is there on a head of state visa. The fact that Harry is in the US, what is going on right now is that he is using this head of state visa to make money, which he is from Better Up, from other entities that he has, and he doesn't have to pay taxes for it. I would really love to see, because Meghan Markle allegedly hasn't paid any private taxes of her own because she thinks because she is a duchess, she's with Harry, she doesn't need to pay US taxes at all. This is the same woman who took the tax department to court and tried to sue them over $860 previously. She didn't think she had to pay them. Liz Catfan says, you cannot work on a head of state visa, but Harry is working. He's a representative chief, Chief Impact Officer, the chimpo of Better Up. They are paying him. He gets paid by making appearances. It's all very shady, but let me continue this article here, because it says this type of visa allows people to come and go from the U.S. freely. It also requires a lower security check. The Department of State vets and issues the A1 visas with little input from the Department of Homeland Security, said immigration lawyer Melissa Chauvin. I would expect that Prince Harry is on an A1 visa every year of his life. Take his age and divide it by 5 to figure out how many applications he has or were filed on his behalf when he was underage. So about 8 applications. Each visa will have a duration of 5 years, good for multiple entries into the United States, which kind of seems like, okay, your 5 years is up, Harry. Will Trump come and boot him out of his house and detain him like in the middle of the night while he's asleep or something, in his boxer shorts with his micro pingling hanging out of it like an elephant trunk? Well, a micro elephant trunk, but who knows? Harry at the moment is an illegal alien living in America. He should not be here and he should be kicked out because he is trying to meddle in First Amendment rights, like TRG has pointed out from the very beginning. Even the fact that he claimed that the First Amendment is bonkers. No, Harry, you are bonkers. Go back to your igloo on Chunga Changa that you want to live, and that's where you belong. Choo choo karma train. Yeah, I know, right? One can only hope that he gets like stuck on a raft and sent out to Chunga Changa or something. Mandy Lynn says, do you think all this feuding between Harry and the royals is even real? I think there is a feud. Of course, I don't think that Harry and his brother are getting along because let's be honest, because of Harry, I now know that Prince William is circumcised. I didn't need to know that kind of information. Now I know that Big Willie definitely has a big Willie that doesn't have a toque. I didn't need to know that. But yet he divulged that sort of information. I would never forgive anyone who talked about any of my private parts or if they attacked my significant other in the way that they have always attacked Catherine because they are jealous. Just saying, just saying, just saying. Molly is definitely the TMI prince. I know. He definitely tells us too much. Feuds are one-sided. Harry is attacking, William is ignoring. Yeah, which is why I get pissed off whenever I see all these people say, oh, William should forgive his brother. Screw that. I would never forgive that trollop for stabbing my entire family in the back and talking about trying to save my children from being just like him in the media when he, goes to the extent to hide his phantom hostage children if he has any. If I was William, hell no, I would never let him back into my life, ever. Do you think Harry should sign an NDA in order to visit his father? I think definitely. It's sad that it got to the point that when, the royal family never made anyone sign NDAs. You can go and look it up. This is a fact. Until Meghan Markle joined the family and she started having all the staff that worked for them sign NDAs. That should be a red flag right there. 100% it should. Definitely. So let me continue on here with this article because it's almost done and I'm on a bit of a time crunch because you know what? This mommy has to do school pickup for real, unlike some others who send their nannies to pick up balloons as children. I'm kidding. So it says each entry will be permitted for an indefinite period of time called the duration status, meaning for the time that he remains close to becoming the King of England. For him, that is all his life. So because Harry is in the line of succession, he can always claim an A1 diplomatic head of state visa. That's what they're saying. One expert told the publication that diplomatic visas of this kind would be a golden ticket for all involved, and it would allow the Duke to sit here in the US forever. Last December, Harry said that he enjoys living in the US and plans to remain here for good. Harry has actually said that multiple times, and I've shown you guys multiple videos of him claiming that. Now here, the thing with YouTube is that if I continue to show you the same videos over again to show you the examples, someone can ding my videos for reused content. It's wild. So you got to follow the rules constantly that YouTube updates in their terms of service. Continuing on, it says Harry has the exact visa type. Harry's exact visa type has never been revealed, though sources closest to the Duke says that if he answered truthfully on his application, hold on, what's going on here? Yeah, okay, I accept. No Spanx, man. So it says this type of visa helps him to come from the US freely. He enjoys living in the States. And oh, that's the end of the article, schmarticle. Meh. That's the end of the article. It just stops right there. That's lame. I was expecting more, but I guess there isn't more. Boo! Thumbs up, thumbs down for anyone who wrote this article, because how do you just leave it there? How do you just, look, Many of us have called the fact that Harry what is on a special visa, which is why they receive all of the special trappings that they do with security. I bet you if there was an audit done on Gavin Newsom's government, I'm willing to bet that there has been money paid out to Harry and Meghan. Losing the plot. I'm sorry. The king is stoned, apparently growing his own stash of cannabis. Is it cannabis or is he taking some edibles? Because he seems more out of it than usual. Look, Harry has the king wrapped up around his finger, and I feel like he uses the whole, oh, I'm getting sick, I have cancer, I haven't seen my random spawn that I don't even know. I don't believe that ever Charles has met these hostage phantom children. No, some people say that, oh, Charles has met Lilibet, and no one has. No, I don't believe it, because even Catherine at one point said, oh, we would love to meet her at some point. Not happen. Prince William has his eyes wide open to what is going on, except for Charles. Charles is too busy walking around with rose-tinted glasses, worrying about more like immersing himself in the whole Muslim thing and takeover that is happening in the UK. Look, I don't like to get political and talk about things like this, but this is horrific. Look at what is going on. This is let me share the link so Katie makes it easier for you, my darling. Let me play this video because Charles decided that, it's more important to inaugurate an Islamic center where he praised Muslims and calls on British citizens to greater understanding of the Islamic world. I mean, can I say something here? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful at all. But if you take a look at this Islamic cult, as I like to call it, they are in favor of these grown-ass men, grown men. I'm talking about 40, 50 years old and marrying children as young as 9 years old. There is some foul things going on in the background. As harsh, look, I just dropped over like once I started this subject, I lost over 100 viewers just the moment I mentioned this. This is horrible, but let me just play this and then, yeah, I know it's sick. Just look at countries like Saudi Arabia and why they are not open to this whole Islamic thing, and why Charles is opening to, like, do not do this.
Assalamu alaikum. In this milestone anniversary year,
Yikes.
I can only say that it is with enormous pride and admiration that I join you all here today to pay tribute to this remarkable center as it celebrates 4 decades of unfailing work to broaden our understanding of the Islamic world and in the United Kingdom. Assalamu alaikum.
Yikes. Yikes. Yikes, 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 Charles. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? This is why I worry about the monarchy until William gets there. It is yikes. It's like he's trying to make as much damage and trying to do as much damage as possible. Charles is the head of the Church of England, which is wild to me because, anyways, we won't talk about that. But let's just talk about Harry and him and the Visa cards and the fact that many of you guys here in the chat also said that Harry was on a special visa. Many of us called it just to be told no. Now, what I'm wondering is that Niall Gardner spent a ton of money with the Heritage Foundation to, to figure this information out. And then he walked away from the case. I don't know what, maybe he was told to butt out. Maybe he was paid off. That's what I want to know. What is actually happening there? Who knows? But look, this is the update with Harry's visa that, yes, he is definitely on a special head of state visa. We all called this, and Harry shouldn't have that. Meghan shouldn't have access to that. The family shouldn't, or these invisible spawns that they are using as paychecks shouldn't have access to it. Yes, everyone should get a shout out too, regardless of what you believe in. It doesn't matter. Special visa for the special boy. Exactly, Martha. I agree 100%. I agree. Look, my darlings, I just wanted to bring this update to you guys about Harry's visa. I have another video coming up for you guys, but I have a couple errands to run. You know, some of us don't have nannies to take care of things, and we actually have adult stuff to take care of before we go pick up our little gremlins before they get off school. Anyways, my darlings, I'm going to get out of here. Yeah, the spammers have definitely hit the comment section, haven't they, Katie? But anyways, my sweet friends, I'm going to get going. We should, if there is any more revelations about Harry's visa, I will come back and give you guys updates. In the meantime, I suggest you guys go and check out TRG's videos, which she has been talking about this for a while. Go check that out. And, you know, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, my dear mods, for always being amazing and having the time to mod for me here. And yes, Katie, if you can link, that would be amazing. 100% amazing. Thank you to all my friends and subscribers and listeners who are here in the chat. I appreciate you all taking the time out of your day to be here and spend it with me. And to those who are watching it on the replay, thank you so much as well. I appreciate you all, and I will catch you in the next one. Toodaloo, my sweet friends. Bye.